What's up, everybody? Product Probes back at you with another knife review, and today we are doing a fun one thanks to Big Steve, one of our subscribers. He sent us down this knife. This is the Threat Response Solution. It's a little 5-in-1 EDC knife. This thing is stacked. So let's dive into it and let's see what this thing's got. Alright guys, just real quick, I'm going to give you a close-up on this box. So right here on the back, as you can see, it does have the diagram of everything on this knife. This thing is super loaded. Now, let's open this sucker up and let's see what it's got. So, right out of the box, good looking knife. Let me go ahead and give you a close-up on it right here, and we will walk through this thing together. So, right here on the back, you do have a glass breaker. Got your seatbelt cutter right here. The handle is an all aluminum handle. Right up here you have just a single thumb stud. It's not a dual thumb stud or anything. The pocket clip right there on the back actually seems to be pretty beefy right there. Now this is just a manual opening knife. So, bam, super smooth opening right there. Let me give you a close up on this blade. So, as you can see, just a standard drop point blade, black oxidized. Got your half serration, half straight right there. You do have some jimpings that are incorporated right up here at the top, but you know what? I bet that it's going to be kind of a problem with it. Yeah, see, there's a flashlight right up here, which I'll kind of dive into that a little bit more as we move along. So, right here, simple liner lock right there. That was actually really smooth. So single hand deployment right there, single hand close, super smooth knife, guys. Now what I want to do is I'm going to walk through this flashlight. This thing has even got a fire starter and pocket clip. We're going to go through everything, and another shout out to Steve. We got a seatbelt that we're going to cut up, so we're definitely going to test out this seatbelt cutter. So the first thing that I want to look at is this flashlight. So right here, let me show you. So guys, as you can see, right up here at the top, this knife is actually incorporated a flashlight into this thing. Now, let me find my sweet spot on the close-up. Boom, I think it's probably about right here. So, as you can see, looks like just a normal flashlight, right? Well, you can turn this thing and it will cut on. Now, you go, okay, well, that's no big deal, but check this out. It's an actual removable flashlight, and the thing is actually magnetic. So, check it. Super strong magnet on this little flashlight. So, if you didn't want to carry this flashlight on there, or if you needed to take it out, get into smaller spots, you can actually do it. Now, right before we go test this flashlight, I want to show you all this. On the opening, if you're going to use these jimpings that are incorporated right here on the top, you're going to have to take the flashlight out to really get great control. So if you're doing any type of utility work or anything like that, and you want great control, you're going to have to remove this flashlight to actually do that, unless you choke up all the way up here, which nobody does. However, make sure that it's actually situated right, and boom, that thing fits in there good. So, right off the bat, let's go check out this flashlight and let's go see how bright this thing really is. Alright guys, it's still daylight when we're shooting this thing, but hopefully this junk room right here that we got will be dark enough to test out this flashlight. So, got Ben carrying the camera. Let's check it out. Now there's a motion light in here that we've got to be careful not to hit. So, with the glasses off, you can kind of see. So this is shine right here. See if you can see me, Ben. Just shut that door behind you. So, this is what it would look like with the light off right here. Now, as you can see, you can't really see much. And then, boom. Now this is still attached to the knife. As you can see right over here, got some Sam's Diet Cola, water. Right over here, got the lawnmowers and wood chippers, and I got an old bench grinder over there that I can still see. fishing supplies, fishing poles, pressure washer. So if I needed to get in and really look around for stuff, like right up here on the wall, as you can see, if I had to come out here, get a shovel, the power's out, this light definitely does the trick. So right down here, let's look at this dog food. So shine it at the dog food. Now, can't see it, gotta figure it out. Boom. What do we got? It's upside down. No, it's not. Purina 1 Smart Blend Large Breed Puppy Formula. So, bam. And bam. So guys, I know this might be definitely a rough run with this flashlight, but as you can see guys, this thing is pretty daggum bright. Super bright flashlight guys. I really like this thing. And now, as I'm breaking it in, well, see? You see how it's really hard to kind of fit in right there? So make sure that it's angled right or it's not going to go in there and that magnet will not catch. Boom. So you could turn it, use it like this. I really like the flashlight incorporated into it. Still, super smooth opening knife. Now, let's go ahead and let's look at this fire starter. So right here on the back of the knife, right here close to the glass breaker and the seatbelt cutter, right here, just a simple pull out, you're going to have your fire starter. Boom. Now, the way that you're going to use the fire starter is a lot of times you're probably going to want to scratch this coating off and then use the serration part to actually cause your spark with it. So, I tell you what, if we've got some tinder and everything, we might end up having to go outside for this one, but let's go check it out and let's see how this little fire starter does in this knife. I couldn't get the words out, but anyway, let's go check it out. Alright guys, so right here on the knife, as you see on the back side of it, there is a pull-out fire starter. Now, you're going to want to start it with the serration part of this knife. However, we did have a rain the past 2 days, and it actually rained this morning. So, I've managed to get a few dry leaves right here, but I also have a thing of jute tinder, which is good to carry around even if you do have, you know, in your bug out bag or something like that, just for these wet days that you're gonna have. So let's tear off a little bit right here and see how we can do it, that's probably enough. I don't really want to put this fire starter, you know, to the max, because this is Steve's knife that we're gonna have to send back, but definitely gonna test it out and see how it does. So we'll save a little bit of that. This is probably a little bit too much tinder, but pull it out right there. Get your serration. And what we're going to do is scrape off this coating right here onto our tinder right here. Now, it already caught a spark, but as you can see, that coating is coming off right there. And there you go. And then get you some leaves. Like I said, it is wet out here, so not sure even if these dry leaves are gonna catch. It kind of looks like they're catching. And then of course, even though these leaves are super wet, they're probably not gonna burn at all. But then, you know, of course you have your twigs, and then you slowly build it up with whatever dry stuff that you can have. But to be as quick to start a fire, just that quick with this thing, and it didn't take too much of your fire starter away, this thing is actually pretty good when it comes to the fire starter. Not a bad little fire starter. You know, to be able to pull out like that and to start a fire, this thing's actually pretty good. So let's go ahead, let's keep it moving, and let's check out this pocket clip. So right here, as you can see, I do like the pocket clips to actually sit a little bit higher on the knife, but in this case, well, it's almost hard to really incorporate it higher because of this bolt right here. So they did a good job on getting it probably as high as they can. They added that third screw, which, I mean, gives it a little bit more, you know, support with the knife, but they probably could have got away with 2 and inched this up a little bit higher. You know, for them being a tactical type knife, you'd think that they would go more concealed, you know, with it sitting in your pocket like this, but you see that? So, but before I can even do that, let's go see what this thing looks like in the pocket. All right, let's check this thing out in the pocket, see how it does. So, right over here. Right here on the slide down, it actually slides in really well. The print on it, now given that this is a pair of khakis, is not too bad right here. But I don't like the fact that it does stick out. See how much that's sticking out? However, a good thing about that is you're able to get to that flashlight rather quick. So, let's see how it does on the pull out. Yeah, so boom. Your deployment is right there again. Slides in just fine. The only downside to it is definitely going to be that good almost 1.5 inches sticking out of your pocket right there. But you don't have to worry about the fray on it, and the printing is not too bad either. You know, I'm not crazy about the pocket clip. It is super beefy. You don't have to worry about it fraying your pocket, but I do like, you know, the knife to actually sit down further in my pocket. And on this one, there's just a lot sticking out. And you would think with a tactical company, they would take that into account, which I kind of see, like right here. Let me show you. So, as you can see, I mean, they did what they could do on it. But if that's your go-to, your expertise, you would think that they would try to at least 2-screw it, make the 1 screw, you know, a lot tighter to implement a higher pocket clip on this thing. Definitely not a deal breaker though. Now, bam. Let's go ahead and let's look at this blade. So, again, guys, not going to try to repeat myself as much, but real quick. Drop point blade, got your EDC right up there, logo. Single thumb stud, half serration, half straight. Now, what we're all looking forward to, which is what any knife is about, this thing seems pretty sharp. So let's go see how sharp this thing really is, and let's also check out the serration and see how it does with some rope. All right, let's check out the sharpness on this knife. So right here with the straight blade, first we're going to do a cut down. So got Ben back there holding a piece of paper for us. Seems to catch fine. And then you're starting to run into a little problems right here. Let's flip it and see what we can do. Again, let's try it again. It catches fine. That time it had a good run. So I guess it is all about that catch. Let's try it at an angle right now. So right here at an angle. I don't like those rips. Now that paper did feel a little soft. It's been sitting on the wet ground while we were setting up. But let's check out the tip on it. Just a standard drop point. Very minimal push, hardly any. Almost reminds you of a, wow, clip point. The point on this thing is super sharp, guys. You get in here and your tears are very minimal, but sharpen this sucker up and you definitely have a good blade. Now, you don't have a lot of blade to run with until it catches that serration, but this thing right out of the box is super sharp. All right, guys, so we have 3 pieces of rope right here that we're going to see how this serration part does. You have your paracord right here, your standard cotton rope right here, and then your nylon rope. So let's go ahead, let's pull the knife out, and whichever one you want to hand to me first. So with the nylon right here, had a little trouble getting through that right there. Let's try it with the straight blade. Straight blade, no problem. Serration did have a little problem getting through that. Now, let's check out the paracord on the serration. It definitely makes it through it. Now, let's try the straight blade on it. Yeah, definitely a lot better with the straight blade. Now, a little bit thicker of rope. It'll make it through it, guys, but that serration just doesn't seem to be too sharp on this knife. Now, let's try the straight blade. Bam. So 2 tries with the straight blade to get through it. But overall, you know, definitely going to want to sharpen that serration up. Alright, guys. Actually, a pretty good blade on this knife. I'm starting to really like it. Now, if you wonder what I got in front of me, this is a seatbelt that Big Steve also sent us. Now, I was having trouble actually getting this thing out, but what I want to do is I want to go test this seatbelt cutter out and see, because a lot of times, you know, they're always just a selling point for a knife. But how often are you actually using the seatbelt cutter, you know, and how many people are always in that situation? Now, if it was me on a lot of those cheaper knives, I would actually pull the blade out, cut the seatbelt. But this is what it's made for, so let's check it out and let's go see how this thing does on an actual seatbelt. All right, guys, I've never actually been in a situation where I had to use a seatbelt cutter, but I'm strapped to a tree, and let's see how this thing does. So, my first thought was if I'm right-handed, I'm gonna have to come up with it this way. Well, let's just try it left-handed and come down with the seatbelt. So, that doesn't look good. Or if I come up with it, yeah, guys, with seatbelt cutting, unless I'm doing it completely wrong. So let's try up. And I mean, if you look right here, you can see where I'm catching it on that blade. The seatbelt's in there. Now, it could just be this seatbelt cutter, but a lot of times on knives, they are just selling points, because this is how the way that the blade is run. Right now you're in panic mode if you're in the water. So, get it, slice the seatbelt off, and you hear it retract behind me. Always use your blade, especially if you've never used the seatbelt cutters before. Go ahead, open your blade up, and you should have enough room to get in there and cut it. And at that time, because this blade is a little bit sharper, I didn't have to use the serration. But even if your blade's dull and you do have serration on it, you know, you could use that. But right now, guys, with this seatbelt cutter, it is a no-go. All right, guys, there you have it. The TRS, or the Threat Response Solution 5-in-1 multi-tool EDC knife. This thing is actually a really cool knife. The only con that I have on it, and it's really minor because the pocket clip does work, I just wish it set a little bit lower. But other than that, guys, this is not a bad EDC knife. You do have to remove the flashlight if you want to get, you know, control when you're really doing utility work. But for an EDC, guys, you really can't go wrong with this knife. It opens super smooth. Boom. Closes fine. The light is bright. And like I said, the only thing would be this pocket clip right there. Now, this knife actually came, or Steve sent us the Firestarter Secrets DVD with this one. So I'm not sure, you know, if this is actually comes with it, but definitely going to give this thing a watch. So appreciate it again, Steve, you know, for the seatbelt, for the knife, you know, for the support. So another big thanks, but appreciate y'all watching. If you were thinking about getting this knife, I will leave a link in the description below. And if you are already thinking about getting it, hope the review helped. So guys, again, appreciate y'all watching, and I will see y'all in the next one.